Hello. Hello. Welcome to the webinar AI for conversion rate optimization. Nice to see you, Thomas, Bernd. Yeah, there are some joining. Fabian, let's wait like 5 minutes till we have the all the participants in the room, I would say. But we are already 26, 28 people. Thanks for joining, guys. There are some people with a camera. Hi, Laura. You guys already see my screen? Super. Amazing. Then Fabian, what do you think? Should we start?
I'm ready.
You're ready. Perfect. Yeah, then welcome to our webinar slash live demo. We want to keep this very conversational today. We talk about AI for conversion rate optimization, but in specific, like how have CRO teams been before AI? How did AI change this team setup basically, but also how can AI help us find the hypothesis that really solve user problems, but also how does AI, when we have the hypothesis, when we have the user problem identified, how can AI help us to create a design, make develop the A/B test? So this is what we talk about today. Um, in general, we would like to keep this very practically. We want to have like the first 15 to 20 minutes open conversation about how Fabian is using AI in his day-to-day work. And then we want to switch to the platform. One purpose of the meeting was that you as a customer can send us test ideas, basically, and we use these test ideas to make examples how you can run them in Varify itself. Fabian, I'll quickly introduce myself and then I'll pass the ball to you as well. I work at Varify already since 5 years. It's crazy, but the time flies. In general, I think this is something that we have all in common. I have a strong belief in challenging the status quo. And what we would like to achieve in general with Varify is that we build features that are relevant. We see ourselves as the missing puzzle piece in every stack. We want not to be the all-in-one solution. We want to be the solution that sticks into what you already have and is ready for all the agents and all the AI functionalities that we see tomorrow. And in general, this was always the purpose of Varify. We want to provide the best price value ratio on the market for you as a customer, but also for our partners. I work strongly with our partners. One of our yeah well experienced partners is Fabian. Fabian is having 15 years CRO experience in agencies, but also in house. And what I like when we work with Fabian together is that he has a strong mindset of enablement instead this done for you solution, which is super good for agencies that start rolling out A/B testing programs. But also when you start as a company or when you want to make this next step with A/B testing, I think Fabian is not a too bad choice. Um, Fabian, welcome and thank you so much for your time and joining today.
Yeah, thank you, Frederick. Thanks for
How
inviting me
was
and trusting me.
how was my introduction to you? Did I miss something or would you like to add something here?
Yeah, I just like to add usually a funny story. I ended up in CRO by applying into an online marketing job because back then no one really was able to find a CRO expert. So I came from psychology, and then the managing director from our agency asked me, Fabian, how do you like our website? And I told him that I don't like it and the website doesn't perform. And since I was the only one in the interview who told him that, he hired me as an online marketing manager. And then I actually had to do CRO. That's how it started back then. So there was no clear definition of being a CRO manager. And now I'm doing this for 15 years, and we're helping company actually to build CRO in-house because they're still struggling while finding the right profiles. Um, but yeah, maybe our webinar can enlighten you a little bit what challenge we have actually today. So yeah, thank you for having me. Looking forward to this.
I would like to start with a question because I think this starts quite good in the overall conversation that we are having today. What do you think in your what did change? You said you were per coincidence you got into CRO. Now after how long is OpenAI or what when was the launch of ChatGPT 3 something? I don't know. What did change since then in terms of CRO?
For me, educated clients, like really, they know now something. Before we had a situation where you as an expert, I mean, it's basically the situation nowadays that knowledge doesn't have as much value anymore than before, I would say.
Mhm.
Um, like we once, or the other day, we just did a landing page design for one of our clients, and he had an alternative idea, and he just prompted it in like 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And we were sitting there with designers and all that, and figuring it out with a designer who has 15 years of experience, me having 15 years, breaking our heads how we, I mean, of course, we're also using AI, but in the end of the day, what changed a lot is that knowledge is available now for everyone. And even I wouldn't say AI means equals knowledge. It's more like the resources to analyze data real quick is available now, which changes a lot in the CRO world for agencies, for consultants like us. Yeah, that's I would say is now the biggest difference that you not argue with uneducated customers anymore. Now everyone can build a fast opinion or can build something really quick, right?
What didn't change is that we should start with the why, right? So it's still the same process, it's still the same reason why we are doing A/B testing or conversion rate optimization or other disciplines in conversion rate optimization. It's still the why.
It's the why, but not everyone starts there. I have to say that. Right now, everyone has, or we have a lot of ideas, right? And you can create all the ideas quite quickly. So you execute and you execute, but no one really asks why are users not converting? I don't know, you guys in the audience here, maybe ask yourself, do I really know why my users are not converting? Like, do I have a real educational or a fact-based answer on that? Or do I assume is that's my biggest point always to my clients that I say you need to know. If you don't know your why users are not converting and why are they on your website, um, and why they should be buying from you and all these questions, then you might not have the right hypothesis yet. All right. So the why, it's in the CRO expertise, I would say always a common thing, or we always go for that to figure out the deep insights. But nowadays, I would say people jump to execution too fast. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which also, I mean, of course, the not knowing the why and also I would say, being able to execute fast now also brings a lot of great opportunities right now because you can build prototypes, you can user test them really quick. You don't need an entire, I would say, month for doing a MVP and user testing it. You can do this basically. I mean, we are setting up processes right now where we start a user test over the weekend. On Monday, we have the results, right? Um, and that's the magic of AI now that we kind of can work actually when we are leaning back and we can do things and come up with good ideas or better ideas when we're not actually working on things by automating things.
Yeah.
So I would say the implementation bottleneck doesn't no longer exist, but we still need to ask ourselves why users are not converting and why are they on our website, why they're buying from us and not from the competitor, and then
Yeah.
start optimizing from there.
I would like to take one step back and have a look at the CRO teams before AI. And before we deep dive into that, I would like to start one survey. So, audience, feel free to participate here, that we get a better understanding of, do you already have a dedicated CRO team, a dedicated CRO manager? Are you like a SEO that also does A/B testing? Are you online marketing manager handling ads, SEO, and CRO at the same time? I would like to have a bit of a better understanding here. Fabian, do you see the results, or I'm the only person who see the
Oh,
results?
I only see the answers I can give.
Okay.
Who has here a dedicated CRO manager?
Mhm.
Who's running the tests?
Who's running the tests? Dedicated CRO manager right now. 6 out of 21 people, 7 out of 23. 17 people have other disciplines. They work multidisciplinary. CRO and acquisition manager, Laura, at the same time. So you're handling a lot of things simultaneously. How many people have we here? 39. We have 38 participants. Yeah, so the result is basically that 67% of our audience here, Fabian, is doing a lot of stuff at the same time. Analytics, tracking data, and zero. Um, so when we look at the zero teams before AI, is this actual reality? Or how many of maybe the biggest companies already have that dedicated CRO teams, but when we speak about mid-market, smaller enterprise companies, the reality is they have to handle a lot of things at the same time, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's kind of part of the CRO job because it's not really, you cannot say it's only analytics, it's only design, it's only coding or whatever, or tracking. When I started CRO, I mean, I started in agencies, right? So we were like really a dedicated team only for CRO. So we had one analyst, we had one person for tracking, we had one for analytics, like for doing the analysis. Then we had one person for doing the qualitative analysis. Then we had one person for doing the research. Then we had one person to design, and we had to have one person who does the coding because all the other disciplines don't know what the other ones are really like. That one, the designer doesn't know analytics, and the analytics guy doesn't know Figma and all those, right? So you have to basically have one dedicated person per yeah, per role, per per description, right?
Yeah,
And that means that you have one person in the middle who has to coordinate all these people. So the test and in the end actually comes out as you want it and as has to be aligned with the stakeholder or the management or the client, right? So um, because CRO, I would say, is underestimated in companies. When we usually start with companies, they start hiring a junior, and the junior has basically to do everything. And then other major problem is basically it's a culture clash. If everything from the company comes top down and the CRO manager is supposed to bring things from the client, so bottom up into the process, that's a big culture clash. So we have one person in the company who is supposed to do everything, where you actually need dedicated people to do it right, for each task, right?
yeah,
So that was mostly the reason why you would go to an agency or work with us, for instance.
yeah. But now it's like it's a bit different, right? So this is like this looks super ac apocalypse style, basically, all losing their jobs. What do you think? With AI now, do all people lose their jobs, or how this will change, basically? And
I
why
would
do you
say
think this 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 graphic? Why is it like that different compared to before AI?
because now one person could probably or could run their agents, right? And these agents could do the analysis, they could do the design, or you basically can also skip steps, which I will show you later, that you just simply can skip steps because AI enables you to do that. Um, so nowadays, I would say every department is working with AI. So you could either way say the output or the benchmark of the quality that comes out of each department has to be way higher. So they have a right to be there, I would say, because everything else you could basically do yourself. The other day, a client sent me a lot of data and said, "Here, Fabian, this is the raw data. You know what to do with it." And I mean, we have the answers out of that data in 2 minutes, right? So the client doesn't. So it's way faster, and the quality of analysis can be way higher. And we don't have to sit there and think, what testing idea has been posted on LinkedIn? Should I also test it? But now we can actually do the deep dive and go
Yeah.
into the data and analyze the data and find out what's happening and do the right things for our own problems, right?
This is where we started, right? This is the why. We have more time to understand the why to, and this is like I really like this quote here. Product discovery is too quickly to separate the good ideas from the bad. The output of discovery is a validated product backlog. We have now no problems anymore to get a lot of test ideas, but we have a limited traffic. So we need to understand which test ideas should we start with to make the most out of the existing traffic, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you can now really validate your testing backlog because it is also super easy to generate a lot of testing ideas, right? But
Yeah.
which testing idea is actually the right testing idea that moves the needle from 1 to 10 and not from 1 to 2? You want to think in levers now where you say, or what how we do analysis is like we ask ourselves, why do users not convert? Then we do all the analysis for that. And the next step is what needs to happen that we X the conversion by 10% or by X%, right? So we don't ask what could we test. It's more like what needs to happen to solve the problem that we identified on the page. And we did that before as well, but now in AI, it doesn't take 6, 7, 8 days anymore for user research and analysis. It takes 1 day, basically, or
Yeah.
even two prompts. I would say that you, with the right prompts and the right approaches, you could easily find this out in 1 or 2 days instead of 8. Or sometimes, I mean, user research projects, they could become real projects, which are, yeah, I don't know, take months sometimes. And then you find out that your user is a performer, which you could have seen if you just open a book, basically. Yeah. So it's like
Yeah.
super easy now to find out bigger levers.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there are tools that does this, and this is also a nice transition when it comes to Verify. I mean, there is always room for every kind of software, but in my opinion, in the future, you need to have a well integrated, open, flexible solution, basically, that allows you to use tools like the AI functionality of Google Cloud. I remember the first time we spoke where you're testing this functionality in Google and you were like, it's absolutely crazy. I find things out that would took me ages till I find them out, and I just communicate with it, and it's so fast, it's so good. Um,
Yeah,
how
it's
do you
crazy.
leverage this?
I mean, before I mean, for everyone who doesn't know, the what blew my mind is basically when Google integrated Gemini into Google Cloud, right? And now you can use Gemini on your BigQuery data. That means you can literally talk to your raw data. Because in analytics, I'm pretty sure most of you guys work with analytics because it's also Verify, one of the go-to tools. What you basically do, you connect analytics with BigQuery, and then you have access to your raw data. So you don't have to stay in the frameworks or in the reports of analytics anymore. You guys know that probably that you have to click together all your reports, right? And then you dig into the numbers and then you find out something, and then you have to build another report to answer that next question and the next question. So building all these reports takes a lot of questions, and you never know what's coming out of that report, right? By the integration of Gemini into BigQuery, you can literally talk to your raw data. So you just go and ask them a question. I have a prompt where I just put the brand, the product, I put the business model and a little bit of user behavior context, I would say. I throw the prompt in there, and it gives me what we usually did in our quantitative analysis, because it recognizes the user behavior, it understands the user behavior, and it can say, okay, you're a high engagement product. Then I'm expecting, I mean, based on the prompt I'm using, I'm expecting that you have a lot of returning users because the decision is not made in one session. So it looks into these details and gives you first things that it finds based on your data. And what I usually do then, it comes up with priorities. It tells me, hey, your first instance, your product detail page, we have a lot of new customers, and the conversion rate is, I don't know, 60% lower than other segments. And then I have like three segments afterwards, after the prompt. And the prompt also gives me recommendations of how to approach it. Say, hey, this could be something where you could actually A/B test. This could be something where you should look into maybe user research or something.
Yeah,
And all that with only one single prompt where I only fill in the number at the client or the brand. But you can also do that for A/B tests, that you have literally all your data available for your A/B test. And you can ask, hey, what I did the other day is like basically I looked at all the events that are firing for the test and asked the AI, hey, what do I see in the numbers? What do I see in the data? Um, if you look at all the events basically at once, and it told me, hey, your add to cart rate increased, but all your um, lead forms decreased. Like we had several lead forms or mechanisms on the website to, and it was just there in like 1 minute basically. And then you can ask based on the output of that data the next question. Let's say, for
yeah,
instance, if the output would be, hey, 50% of the users are landing on the homepage and they're not converting really well, then you can ask the AI basically and say, hey, can we look deeper into that? Which data points do we have that give us more idea of what's the actual user behavior? And then it gave me back, hey, 50% of the users of your homepage are not converting. This might be because it's not 100% clear if it's new or returning users, because we're seeing that a lot of new users click on reset password. So why would a lot of new users click on reset password, for instance? Yeah, that would have taken me years to find it out because, or I might not even ask myself that question. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but Gemini and Claude and BigQuery, they find these connections now, and you can easily say, okay, and it takes you only a couple of minutes, and you can literally talk to your raw data.
Yeah. Speaking about minutes, Fabian, I would love to show also the platform in action. So what's also very important is to have the right context. So you can like build your databases, you can give all the context, and the more context and the better the context, the better the output of the AI is. And there are things that you can also use, like user surveys that you can transcript. You can push the transcript into an end flow, and it automatically creates a backlog, basically with test ideas that come from user surveys. And when you have all these test ideas now in place, there were tools like Lovable, for example, that build prototypes, that build these MVPs that you're looking for then to develop them. But now we can start with a test idea, which takes us, like we heard from you right now, not that time anymore to get better test ideas and better user problems that you'd like to solve. And for that, that was too enthusiastic here. And
Maybe I can
for,
add one sentence there. Now you
yeah,
can basically, or what we usually do in our analysis, that we define how the website should actually look like. We build a prototype and then we validate it by user testing,
yeah,
which is super quickly done. So you can already validate if you're going into the right direction by check what would happen basically if you start your shop or your website on a white paper. Yeah.
yeah.
Imagine rebuilding your entire shop. That's how strong your hypothesis can be now. And then you can validate it with user research and push that automatically into your backlog, the output of what the user actually said to your new concept. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to start the next. So I will start now. We have lovely customers that sent over some test ideas. I choose one e-commerce and one lead generation customer of Varify. But before we do that, I'm just quickly starting a new survey. So audience, feel free to share your thoughts here. And I would like to understand from you, have there been any tests that or test ideas that you had in the last 12 months that you poorly didn't do because you don't have the dev capacity to run this experiment? Um, and I'll start already with explaining while you're answering that survey because a bit of the time. Um, we one of our clients is Otto Gourmet, and Otto Gourmet is like a premier German retailer when it comes to high quality meat, high quality seafood. And I got the hypothesis sent that they want to add a protein information. So they that was the test they already run. It was significantly negative across all KPIs, the add to cart, the purchase, and this was the original, the variation one, and the variation two. And I'm super thankful for sending that over to Lena here. But I would like to go one step further because we like and we love challenges. And this wouldn't be a challenge to build this in prompt-based experimentation. So what I did basically, and for that I will just quickly go here into the Varify dashboard. I run AI zero audit. So Varify has a functionality where you can, yeah, like create audits. You get an overview. You can give some additional infos. I would like to focus on an easier way of making decisions. So because when I saw this PDP here, I was like, okay, which meat should I choose here? I was a bit overwhelmed. And I see in the numbers here, by the way, Fabian, that 65% of our audience didn't run a test in the last 12 months because they had developer capacity bottleneck. Um, just as a little information from your side as well that we can refer to at a later point. And what I did basically, I had a look at the experiment ideas, and I really like the idea of implementing a two-step variant selector here. So we don't have that big all these options to choose from, and we break them down into two selections. Choose your cut, and then select the weight and the fresh and the frozen, or choose the weight and the uh, what is the English word for Zustand, Fabian? Can you help?
Situation? No. Condition? I don't
Something like
know.
that. And what I do, and this is what we will build in the next week into our platform, is I will just copy this hypothesis, and we'll try to see what PBX does. So I go back to the dashboard. I really like this test ID here. I go back to the Varify dashboard, copy this URL here, and create an experiment. So guys, I'm kind of nervous to do this live. I saw many demos of AI. Most of them were like predefined. I choose to do this live to show really the actual value of that feature. So what I'll do here is I will just quickly insert this issue, the solution, and the reason why into PBX here. And let's see what happens. Fabian, when you think about making this test with the two selectors, how long do you think would it take to build this experiment with a developer before AI?
1, 2 days. But also to come up with the insight, right? I mean, I think you did not mention that because usually we think that we're just analyzing one URL, but actually what I understood from you the last time is that the tool in the background creates a screenshot and actually analyzes the screenshot, which is a way better way to analyze the website by AI. If you only analyze it by text or by URL, it can only read the code and the text and it doesn't see the visual effects actually on the website. But if you do a screenshot, which I understood your tool does, you can actually almost get as close to a human analysis than compared to only analyzing the URL. So the tool is not just analyzing the URL, it's taking a screenshot and then analyzing actually the screenshot. Um, and The only thing what we're missing usually is the human intention, right? That's also something we, as a CRO manager, we always kind of guessing. We think people come to the website to buy, but that's not always the intention. Okay.
Mhm. So let's see what we got here. We see only one step here. We see the options. We could click the options, and then we got to step 2, basically. So it's already working here. It uses the right options to choose from. But what I don't like is that we don't see that we actually have a step 2. This is not too prominent for me. So let's go back into the PBX and say, I just quickly do a screenshot here, or let's quickly do a screenshot of both and say, I would like to have the options open before that. I have a quick view of what's available under each cut. And make, yeah, and let's start with that. So what I want to show here is we can upload concepts. If we already have an idea of where should be what, we don't let AI think about it and be too creative. You can upload concepts. You next week, hopefully next week, you know how it is with product releases. We will connect the Figma. You can connect your Figma to Varify to make it more like you aim to do it, or like AI should do it, basically. So the more context, again, this is AI, the more it is like you expect it to be, basically. Feel free also to share some of your thoughts about uh yes, Lena, you get the recording, obviously. I will send this over
Right.
afterwards. But you see that you can communicate now with the AI. You see now the AI has built something new with it. I can
And this
also show you.
this totally
Mhm.
takes out the design step of the process, basically. Before, we would talk to designers and then they come up with ideas and then we do back and forwards, negotiations, like literally negotiations, who wins the test idea. And
Yeah,
then, but you don't have to do that anymore, basically.
yeah, this is, I like this one, but I don't like that it shows all of them. Just show the options that have been chosen in step 1. So again, we communicate with it. This is the last prompt I will do. Then I would like to show you another example here as well. And also, I did prompt this yesterday as some examples. I would like to show you what AI did yesterday. And this is something we need to be aware of with AI. It's also managing responsive design. Yes, Laurie, we can have a look at it, how this looks like on mobile very, very soon. Let's give our buddy here some seconds to do our work. Let's finish this experiment. Call this options auto gourmet. This was the third that I built. Now this is here. We can, the targeting from Lena was yesterday. We have defined options for these URLs. You can target via use a CSS selector. You can also target via several URL matches. So we save the targeting here, and we can have a look at it in the preview. This is the new ones that we just built. let's see how this looks mobile. Mobile, it looks like this. You can also choose the cut, and then you can choose, and we don't know yet what the English word for Zustand is. State, something like this. Maybe, guys, you can help. You can also use it in German. You can use it in English. You can use it in Portuguese. Condition, Ranjit. Thank you so much. You can use it in several languages. It doesn't matter. Yesterday I built this one, for example. I really like this option here as well. This took me also like 5 to 10 minutes. And we have these options to choose from. And you see also it matches the styling of your company. So one other example that we have is from Elaine. Elaine is basically formerly Sixt Leasing, is a German provider of like comprehensive mobility solutions, but specializes in leasing, fleet management. And they sent me the hypothesis that if they add prominent filters to the deals page, then the conversion rate one, and the deals page is one of their entry pages. It's one of their, I think, 4 entry pages, which has the lowest conversion rate. And they believe that they can increase the conversion rate by 5 to 10% because users currently are overwhelmed by the many options with no way to narrow down the results. And this is supported by Hicks' law, basically, which Hicks' law says the more options you have, the longer it takes to make a proper decision. And because of the timing a bit, I have prepared this already. And Elaine and greetings to Max here, have invited me to their account to build this experiment in their account as well. So I just quickly show you how it looked before and how it looks now. And I will reverse engineer together what did I prompt, etc. But it was a similar process. So this is how it looks right now. We don't have a filter. We can filter down on specific deals, but not on like manufacturers, the type of cars, whatever. So we built nothing here. Let me check what we are having here. Let's don't integrate the snippet. Let's do a restart here. Let's edit it again and see if we are still having it. Otherwise, I'll jump back to my one. Yeah, here we have it. I need to resave it maybe in the preview. So what I did basically is I also prompted the hypothesis here that I had, what to build, what I would like to have in the filter system. It inspects the page again, and it already was a quite good result that we are seeing here. But what I didn't like is that it was not the same with the dropdown. There were pretty much different dropdowns. It was not, I didn't like that way. So I prompted again, and then I had some problems with the manufacturer. So I said, hey, please make sure you add all manufacturers, etc. So what the result of this was just JavaScript that I like to copy. Let's do it like this. Paste it again here just to make sure that we really see it, apply it. This is the one where I said I don't want to make this live, but guys, this is how it is with AI. We're now having it, we are saving it, we're updating the existing variation, and let's see how this looks in action, basically. So we save this again, and we have a look in the preview. Now we are having this filter system where I can say I don't want to see the BMWs only. But let's have a look at this. This one is a leasing rate of 459 euros. Now we are only having the BMW one, I would say. So we can filter down to specific things, also in terms of the kilometers and whatever. And it also is sticky. So when I go back here now, we still see that sticky. Fabian, I remember that I showed you that hypothesis and you were like, okay, you really want to show this in a live demo because this is actually a pretty big feature. What are your thoughts here?
I have to say, when you showed it to me yesterday, I was quite surprised because since you don't have filters yet, you don't have the tagging on the website to actually make the filters functioning. But it found a way to actually use the existing information because usually you need like tags for the filters, right? But this one is just basically using the information on the product tiles to build a filter based on that. So I have to say, I would say it's quite a smart way to do that. I've worked with a lot of developers and they would have probably told me, it's not possible because we don't have the tagging on the website. Um, yeah, so I would say bravo. Nicely done.
Guys, I would like there was no database needed. Um, to be honest, I'm not a developer. I don't know if they built like a
No, there's no
predefined
database on there.
no database, right? No.
This is
I,
only front end.
yeah, this is only front end. It takes what we have here in the cards details, and it's only front end. Yeah, Max, thank you, thank you. You built it as well. Um, so this was one some examples of the of PBX. Maybe for the overall audience, we will do this live demos in the next couple weeks, every 2 weeks, together with partners, hopefully together with Fabian again as well. And we'll show you some examples. The next things that we will develop is next week we will release our MCP. So you can use the Varify MCP to work within Claude, within OpenAI, within Mistral. So you can work with your LLM, but build experiments there as well. What we would like to have in the future, and I would when I say future nowadays, it's 1 or 2 months. We would like to have a fully automated A/B testing process, but with the right context and with the right integrations that you can have this context as well. This is a little preview of what we will build in the next couple weeks. Feel free to share your thoughts, your questions in the chat. We still have 2 minutes left. After our meeting, you will get 3 AI credits, basically for free to play around with the tool. But also feel free to connect with us. Let's do some use cases on your side. Feel free also to go to Fabian via LinkedIn, for example, and like basically ask if you can do workshop. Fabian, you said you can do a free workshop for AI with our customers. So how can they reach out to you?
That's a good question. Like, can they reach out to you, or can we send out an email afterwards if we
Yeah,
have enough participants, then happy to share some more insights, how we actually set up the processes, also using N8N, for instance, automate user research, maybe other tools that also make sense in combination with Verify. Um, yeah, happy to help you guys.
amazing. So any further questions? Otherwise, I'm quite surprised that we did it in time, just in time, Fabian. I was 100% sure that we cannot do it in 45 minutes. But yeah, AI helps a lot to be efficient, right?
Yeah, especially with your filter thing, I would not expect that to be done in a couple of minutes.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much, guys, for participating. Wish you a wonderful Wednesday. And also, big thank you for Fabian. Thanks for joining. And thanks for being such a great partner. Um, yeah, have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye bye.